Yeah, Edgar Thompson with the Orlando Sentinel for Scotty and Pat. All season, you guys seem to be able to kind of find the answer, the extra gear. What was kind of different, and what was kind of going through you guys' minds out there when you just couldn't kind of get it going?
Scotty, can you take that first, please?
Yeah, on offense, we couldn't really get anything going. They were being really aggressive, and we couldn't really get into our offense, and we weren't moving the ball as well. And a couple of us were having bad shooting nights. Pat and Casey played good as far as shooting the ball goes, but the shots that we did get, couldn't get them to fall.
Patrick.
I think I was just trying to get the guys just to stay in the moment and just keep pushing on from the past, because we've been a team that's come from behind a lot, especially late in the season. And I thought if we just picked it up a little bit more, just forgot about how we were shooting and just locked in and focused, we could have it come again, and we cut it down to 3. And I thought we were there. We were going to be able to change the game, take the lead back. But UConn was very good with their pressure on our guards, and we didn't convert points, and they scored a lot on us as well. So all the credit goes to them.
The next question will be on the left side of the room.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Question for Scotty. We saw you limping up and down the court a few times. Were there cramping issues, and if so, how severe were they?
Yeah, it was right when the second half started. I was getting a little cramp, but it wasn't too bad. But I got out of the game and got some ice, and then it wasn't really a problem from then on.
We're looking for the next question for student-athletes from the University of Florida. If you have your question, please raise your hand. We have one on the left side in the second row.
Gene Fournette from the Florida Times Union for Patrick. Could you, I know this loss just happened, but can you put into words the emotions that you feel right now after such what had been a magical season, winning 30 straight games, and the expectations of going the distance?
Well, it's just, it's really tough. Can't really explain how I feel, because it just hasn't hit me that these guys are next to me, and the guys in the locker room, that we're not going to be together in the same way again, and not going to be, who knows what we're going to be in a couple of months. Just, this team was so special, something I'm never going to forget, part of my life, and we accomplished a lot just by loving each other and being really committed and loving playing with one another. So, I'm just really going to cherish everything that we had this year, and it's going to be something I'll never forget.
Another question on the left side of the room.
Newey Scruggs, NBC Dallas, NBC Sports Radio's questions for you, Scotty. Can you explain at all just the assist to turnover ratio for you guys, just 3 assists versus the 11 turnovers today?
Oh, that's crazy. That's not usually what we do, but they did it. All credit goes to them and their guards and the way they were denying and putting pressure on us. And we weren't taking care of the ball. When we would get by them, we wouldn't keep the ball tight, and they would reach from behind, and we're just being too loose with it.
Continuing with questions for student-athletes from the University of Florida. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Any further questions for the student-athletes? We'd like to thank Will and Patrick and Scotty for joining us in the interview room. We have one more on the left side. Okay.
Yeah, just a question for any of the players. Michael Frazier hit a 3-pointer early, and then he only had 2 other shot attempts for the rest of the game. Was it a case of, UConn blanketing him, or why maybe wasn't he more involved kind of in the game plan and in the flow offensively?
Patrick first, then Will.
I think going into the game, everyone knew how good of a deadly shooter Michael Frazier is. I mean, the guy made 11 threes early in the season against South Carolina. I think all the credit goes to their coach for putting Shabazz on him and Boatwright, guys that are really quick and going to get him out of rhythm. We found him early, and he was aggressive, but it was really tough for us to find him an open look the rest of the game. So, that's never what we want to happen for him. We want to get as many open threes as we can for him, but they did such a great job on him, and we weren't really running our offense the right way. They're as good as we have been all year long, so it was tough to find them. Tough to find a lot of shots. I mean, we were only 1 for 10 from 3 the whole game. So, yeah.
Will.
Just like Scotty said, they did a really good job, guarding us on defense. And offensively, we couldn't get ourselves going. He got him an open shot earlier, but just couldn't find him for some reason, and our offense wasn't here tonight, and we were able to foul Frazier. So they did a really good job guarding us and pushing us on defense on the other side.
We have another question on the left side.
Yes, Chris Harry, Gator Zone for Will and Scotty. How are you guys going to remember this season, and how do you think this team will be remembered by its fans? Will first.
Obviously, the 4 seniors, we came together and, we've been through a lot, and just finishing up, doing all the things we've done this year, and I think it's really special. Going to the Final Four is something special as well. And I think we're going to continue to just, share our friendship, and I hope that, we're going to still stay close after this. We were a great team, I think. We accomplished a lot of things during the year. They played better than us tonight. I think Scotty is a great player, Pat as well, and so is Casey. And this game is not changing anything, regardless of how I feel, how, my relationship with them. And, great guys. Love them, love to be around them. And I just wish them the best, and I know they're going to be successful in life.
Scotty.
I think that everybody will remember this season for the team that we were able to become. Because at the beginning of the year, it didn't look like we would be much of a team, and then throughout the year, we just really came together and did a lot of special things. Broke a number of records at the school, and won some really tough games, and unfortunately, we didn't go out the way we would like to, but only one team is going to do that. So we just have to try and remember all the good things that we did before this point, even though it's hard right now. I'm sure that I'll look back on this year and be really proud of the guys that were standing next to me and just us as a team.
Any further questions for the student athletes from Florida? There's one on the right side of the room toward the center. Please remember to state your name and media outlet.
John Michaels, 790 The Zone in Atlanta's questions for Patrick. In the second half, there was a time when you were really getting in the offensive flow, getting the ball. Do you feel you should have demanded the basketball a little bit more, because it seemed like you had a mismatch inside?
Well, I think up front, even when I wasn't getting the ball in the first half as much or wasn't scoring as much, I was still able to put their bigs in foul trouble. Rima and the other starting big man had 3 fouls in the first half, and I just felt as though in the second half, Coach challenged me just to be more dominant in the second half. Just when I was able to get the ball, just was more aggressive, try to make good reps, good shots to the basket. My teammates were just finding me, just tried to make the right play whenever I could, and it turned out that I was able to do that for the most part.
Final question for the student athletes from Florida in the front row on the left.
For Patrick, but for all three of you, as seniors, obviously it's not the way you wanted to finish. Just talk about, what it meant to be a part of this team and what you'll leave behind.
Patrick.
I think for the first time in my life, I was a part of a group of guys that were really willing to bleed for one another, guys that were really willing to just do whatever it takes to go outside of themselves, to commit to the greater goal. Looking at the year going into it, we didn't know what was going to happen with the suspensions and the injuries and all that stuff. But we stuck together through it, had a lot of great memories. One thing I can take from this team is just when you can truly love a group of guys or people like this, you bring out the best out of them and you bring out the best out of yourself.